If you're a Kenyan parent, you need to say one term. And please mean it when you say that. And if you don't know why we need to say one term, this is the reason.
Thousands of candidates now face an uncertain future after Treasury removed the entire budget for examination registration and invigilation in what could see parents being forced to pay to have learners sit national exams.
Treasury has done a 62 billion budget cut on education system. That includes examination and dispensation of exam material. And that means in the current budget, there's no examination that will take place in Kenya when it comes to basic education.
The presentation of the report to the Departmental Committee on Education and Research revealed that the government had failed the test in budgeting for the very basic tenet of education examinations.
But exams is an activity we know at the end of the year, summative exam assessment has to take place. It is discussed. Then you bring a budget here with zero.
What is wrong with exams of our children? Does Treasury want to do away with exams, or does it want to communicate to parents to start paying examination fees?
So the Education PS, Bitok, and his counterpart from the Treasury, an officer from Treasury, told the Education Parliamentary Committee these amounts are not available for the education sector.
Really engaging National Treasury on this particular matter with the aim of ensuring that we provide the monies that are required so that we can be able to support our children who are doing exams.
On 29th of April, when the cabinet sat, the cabinet gave a direction of rationalizing the budget before it was submitted to the National Assembly. And that is how the rationalization came in. And the examination money was one of the areas that went down.
62 billion. How do you cut 62 billion meant for education? If you want the population of your country to move forward, you need to make sure education is one of the sectors that doesn't get any budgetary cuts. And this government has continuously made sure that this is what it does. On the other side, Ruto is very busy telling people from Narok that he's bought land using government money. How does that even happen?
Mimi nimeenda nimetafuta pesa ya serikali. Nimewanunulia ekari zingine 6,000. Sasa pale Kidong mutakuwa na shamba ekari 10,000.
Why are we concentrated on the wrong things as the government?
We shall not write our report without the examination money.
The school examination and invigilation annual requirement was placed at 12.5 billion by the Kenya National Examination Council. The budget policy statement settled on 6 billion, only for no money to be allocated. Another anomaly was the failure to allocate any funding to the quality assurance and standards. The annual requirement was estimated at 600 million and was approved under the budget policy statement, but no money was allocated. The modernization of the Kenya Education Management System (KEMIS) to centralize data on education at all levels of the education system also suffered the same fate, zero allocation.
I'm just wondering, Ruto, what is wrong with the people you choose to run our ministries? The permanent secretary could not even defend himself. He's saying he'll go back and look at the budget. How does that even happen? How do you allow yourself to come in front of a budgetary committee and you've not even looked at the document?
Really engaging National Treasury on this particular matter with the aim of ensuring that we provide the monies that are required so that we can be able to support our children who are doing exams.
Clearly, these people had not even looked at this document and they did not understand what they had done by putting cuts on something as crucial as examination. How does it make sense for learners to go through a whole system and not be examined on what they've done? It doesn't make sense. How do you do budgetary cuts on something as crucial as examination, invigilation, and making sure that even students get food in their schools?
Out of 7.2 billion shillings required for school feeding program, only 3 billion was approved, while free primary school capitation and junior school capitation were reduced by 1.2 billion and 14.7 billion respectively.
When you see a government doing this, what does it mean to the marginalized communities whose students cannot really get lunch at home? So they have to eat in school so that they continue staying in school. So when you do budgetary cuts on things that are crucial in making sure our children go to school, in making sure that our population is educated, what are you thinking as a government? I'm speaking to the Treasury and the Permanent Secretary of Basic Education, Bitok. It doesn't make sense. And this is the government that we are choosing, and you want to tell me, kumi bila break. It doesn't even make sense. I was watching the news and I was cringing and wondering why we chose this government. It doesn't make sense completely. Listen to what he said.
On 29th of April, when the cabinet sat, the cabinet gave a direction of rationalizing the budget before it was submitted to the National Assembly. And that is how the rationalization came in. And the examination money was one of the areas that went down.
The reply was laughable and unsatisfactory to the committee.
Chair, please.
I don't understand how a sitting cabinet can actually decide that a budgetary cut to be done on education, basic education. It doesn't matter what kind of actions these people took after being told by the cabinet, but it doesn't make sense that a cabinet would sit down and decide to reduce the amount that goes to education. Even those teachers that were saying 20,000 or so teachers that they said will be employed, that Ruto has been going around saying that they are employing these teachers.
And we have set aside another 2.4 billion shillings in this year's budget to hire additional teachers, 20,000 of them.
Earlier, the Teachers Service Commission had also submitted that they have a deficit of 5.7 billion in the financial year 2025-2026 and that they are unable to permanently employ 20,000 intern teachers.
There's nothing that will be done in employing these teachers if these budgets are continuously cut. It doesn't make sense. And the president is going around dishing money to churches, dishing money to people, saying that title deeds will come out in 1 week.
Mimi nimeenda nimetafuta pesa ya serikali. Nimewanunulia ekari zingine 6,000 na mimi niko tayari kuwapatia title deeds. Ile mimi nangojea ni nyinyi munipatie majina ya beneficiaries kwa wizara ya ardhi ndio tuwaletee title deeds. Mukinipatia hizo majina wiki ijayo, ndani ya wiki moja peke yake title deeds zenu zitakuwa tayari.
In which government does titles come out in 1 week? I don't know. We have to do something about this government. Guys, 1 term